Coming up next on This Week in Torrance, it's National Plug-in Day. We'll take you for an electric ride. And we'll tell you what genetically modified foods could mean to your diet. Then seniors get much more than just lunch at the YMCA. Plus, Southern California's newest resident passes over Torrance before landing at LAX. These stories and much more are just seconds away. The local news starts right now. Hello everyone and welcome to This Week in Torrance. I'm Jin Chun. Thanks for joining us. Here are your top stories. The peanut butter recall that started with a salmonella-linked product sold at Trader Joe's has now been expanded to dozens of peanut, almond, and cashew butters. Sunland Inc., the company that manufactured the Trader Joe's creamy salted Valencia peanut butter that has been connected to the salmonella outbreak, is now recalling 76 varieties of their almond butter, peanut butter, cashew butter, tahini, and roasted blanched peanut products. Now, aside from the Trader Joe's peanut butter, none of the other products have been linked to salmonella poisoning. The items were available online and at large supermarket chains under brands such as Sprouts, Harry & David, and Safeway's Open Nature. Fresh and Easy issued its own statement this week, saying it was pulling several almond and peanut butters off shelves out of an abundance of caution. So far, there have been 29 salmonella illnesses in 18 states, including California. Now, here are some highlights from the most recent City Council meeting. Tuesday, September 25th was deemed National Voter Registration Day here in the city of Torrance. The purpose of the day is to encourage all residents to register to vote. Now, to date, there are nearly 3 million voting age residents in LA County who are not registered. In order to vote in the upcoming presidential race, residents must register at least 15 days prior to November 6th. Council held a public hearing to amend the city's current Christmas tree lot ordinance. Historically, the city has allowed sales to begin on December 1st. Now, Torrance will allow Christmas tree sellers to sell trees starting on the day after Thanksgiving. This gives sellers more time to sell trees. The last day to sell trees in Torrance will remain on December 25th. Service groups like the Rotary Club do so much for the community. A Rotary chapter recently held an event that had something for Rotarians as well as something for local students. The Lomita Torrance Airport Rotary Club had a wine tasting event that raised more than $5,000. The money will be used for textbooks, scholarships, clubs at Narbonne and South High Schools, as well as food for the needy. The Lomita Torrance Airport Rotary has been working for 50 years to bring community leaders together as volunteers. Mayor Frank Scotto is a longtime member of the organization and encourages more community members to participate. The Rotary Club of Lomita Torrance Airport meets every Wednesday at noon at the Torrance Doubletree Hotel. Electric cars and plug-in hybrids were celebrated and demonstrated in 65 cities recently. Reporter Charlene Chain takes us to National Plug-in Day, celebrated here in the South Bay.
With dozens of electric vehicles now on the market, the second annual National Plug-in Day gave drivers a chance to test one out.
This is an event to raise awareness for cars that have plugs on them. Any car that you can plug in and run on electricity.
The goal of Plug-in Day is primarily to educate drivers about what exactly makes driving on electricity better than driving on oil.
First of all, they're great cars. They're fun to drive, they're convenient, you can charge at home while you sleep, and they're really outstanding for public health because the all-electrics create no pollution. They don't have tailpipes, and they're a smooth, quiet ride. Also, every cent that you spend to fuel an electric car stays in your community, and it's great for the American economy and for our national security.
Cars on display at the event included the BMW Active E, Toyota's plug-in Prius, the Volkswagen e-Golf, the Fisker Karma, and the Mitsubishi i.
The Mitsubishi i, it's all electric. There's no gas at all. It plugs right into your home. You can plug it into a 120 or there's a small adapter for a 240. The EPA rated range on it is 62 miles. People are averaging around 80 miles, and in perfect driving conditions you can actually get up close to 100.
The Honda Fit EV is another popular choice for environmentally friendly drivers.
We just love it. I mean, we top it off a couple days a week. I mean, we're the ideal candidate. I commute 5 miles to work. I love driving the car. I mean, forget the fact that it's electric. Driving the car is a dream. But, I'll never go back to a gasoline engine again.
Through the Honda Fit Collaborative, the City of Torrance is a test partner of the hybrid vehicle.
The City of Torrance's focus is figuring out how we could streamline permitting for electric vehicle charging stations and how we can either update our municipal code or through conditions of approval get private development to install charging and make it more available.
For even more reasons to go electric, there's both a California incentive and a federal tax credit for purchasing a plug-in vehicle. For This Week in Torrance, I'm Charlene Chang.
For more information on plug-in cars and rebates, visit pluginamerica.org. Gila Bay's report card for California beaches is in, and Torrance Beach scored an A. According to the environmental group, this was one of the cleanest summers for beach water quality ever recorded in the state. Gila Bay gave A or B grades to 96% of California beaches. That's 4% more than last year. In LA County, water quality was up 2%, and 77 sites earned A's or B's. Now, other beaches didn't do as well. Avalon Beach on Catalina, Malibu Pier, and Cabrillo Beach in San Pedro all earned failing grades. We all remember Carmageddon and the fears that drivers wouldn't heed warnings to stay off the road. Now Caltrans officials have a new fear that drivers have forgotten about Carmageddon Part 2 and call it a victim of its own success. Officials are worried drivers won't heed this year's warnings because the last closure went so well. Nevertheless, the 10-mile weekend-long closure of the portion of the 405 freeway through the Sepulveda Pass will take place from September 29th through September 30th. And don't bank on the freeway opening early like it did last time. Crews still have some 30% more work to complete during the same period. This year's closure will also mean dealing with more college students at nearby UCLA playing 2 nighttime home games during the weekend. Once again, officials are asking the public to plan ahead and avoid the area. And it's a bird, it's a plane, it's a space shuttle on a plane. Groups of Torrance residents stood on rooftops, many with cameras and binoculars, all hoping to catch a glimpse of the space shuttle. With the help of a modified Jumbo 747, the Endeavour arrived from the Kennedy Space Center in Florida at LAX, but not before giving millions of spectators a look at it airborne. And it was quite a sight. Here it is passing over Torrance and flying over the ExxonMobil refinery. The 75-ton spaceship stretches 122 feet in length and measures 78 feet from wingtip to wingtip. Now, if you missed its arrival, you can still catch a glimpse of the space shuttle as it's transported to its new home at the California Science Center on October 12th. The Endeavour will leave LAX and roll out onto the streets of Inglewood. The next day, the space shuttle will be moved in full public view from the Inglewood City Hall to the Science Center at Exposition Park, where it's expected to arrive by dusk. Coming up, we'll tell you about Prop 37 and what it will mean to consumers, and we'll find out if some residents answer the question, who do you think you are?
Winston, just one more inning, Grandma.
Ever notice how many things today kids can do without actually moving? A whole lot of things their parents used to do the hard way. So many kids' activities today seem to leave out the activity part, which makes exercise even more important for children. In fact, new research tells us the best time to enhance bone development is during childhood and adolescence. And just getting children to walk an extra 35 minutes a day could spare them the pain of thinning bones later in life. Healthy bones come from healthy habits. Encourage your kids to get up, get out, and get moving.
Hello. Hey, Grandma, how about another grape soda?
A public service message on building strong bones for kids from the Pediatric Orthopedic Society of North America and the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons.
I remember the moment clearly.
I'll never forget that moment.
As long as I live.
I realized at that moment, when we first saw the damage, these people really needed us. And I was going to make a difference, right here in my community. Together with local responders, we cleared trees and collapsed walls. We had to get to the family trapped beneath. As a citizen soldier, I made a difference.
Be there for your community at NationalGuard.com.
Older adults looking for a place for lunch will get more than what's on the menu at the YMCA. Reporter Shia Kobayashi explains.
Elaine Seller has been a longtime participant here at the Torrance South Bay YMCA.
Luncheons are great. They're really nutritious. They're provided by a nutritionist, as far as I understand. They're made up by a nutritionist. And one thing, the soups are delicious.
And while the lunches are a favorite among the seniors, so are there many programs geared towards the older adult community.
I took many trips, and they go to the East Coast, and we go on the ship. And after touring the East Coast, we go on a ship and go up through Bar Harbor and into Canada, Halifax, Montreal.
The Torrance South Bay YMCA hosts a popular senior program which includes fitness activities, a hot lunch program, as well as bingo games. The senior program started in 1977 and is open to any senior with or without a YMCA membership. Currently, there are more than 250 participants who attend one or more programs, making the Y part of their daily routine.
We have a variety of programs ranging from bingo, which is recreational bingo. We also have line dance, very popular, great exercise. They love the music. We have a chair exercise program.
The chair exercise program is aimed to help maintain or improve the health of its participants. After exercising, the seniors are able to mingle and enjoy a hot lunch that features a healthy, affordable, and tasty menu. The cost of lunch here is about $2.75, and classes range from $2 and up depending on the activity. And through these events, participants like Seller have formed great friendships.
Great company, and both in exercise and in here, and great dietary needs are all fulfilled pretty well. We need a little more ice cream.
We come almost every day for lunch, and we met a lot of people who I think are friends now. It's always very nice. We have an enjoyable lunch with good conversation.
And as for the staff, every minute of their job is rewarding.
When I look around the room and I see them with smiles on their faces and they're just enjoying themselves, and to me that's it. That's the whole I've done it. I've done my job.
With so many opportunities to create friendships and be active, Seller had one thing to say.
I recommend it to anybody. It's great. It's just a great program for the seniors.
For This Week in Torrance, this is Shea Kobayashi.
For more information on the Y Senior Lunch Program, visit ymcala.org/Torrance-South Bay. Genetically modified foods, or GMOs, have become a hot-button topic recently, and now whether or not to label these foods will be a proposition on the November ballot. Reporter Lorena Salcedo has a story.
This law is really about labeling. It's about labeling. And do I think labeling is important? Yes, I do.
Come this November, Mary Lou Wise will be among the many California voters having to decide if the label on their produce is important to them or not.
It does put the GMO people on notice that we want to identify you and what you're doing. Okay. It's fair. It makes a fair playing field. With us being organic, we get scrutinized, and we have to prove that we're organic.
If Proposition 37 passes on the November ballot, California will become the first state to mandate labeling of genetically modified foods, or GMO foods. Here at the Torrance Farmers Market, vendors tell us how this could change the way farmers do business.
If somebody hears or sees GMOs, they're going to stop and think.
The law would force farmers who are growing GMO foods to print new labels. Not only will GMO food farmers be affected, but so will the general public. As much as 80% of conventionally grown food has been genetically modified. This bill could potentially change the way we shop for food.
It may be the beginning of the end to GMO. If they have to start identifying what they have, what they are, then people might stay away from those products.
Supporters of the bill include the Organic Consumers Fund, Nature's Path Foods, and Lundberg Family Farms. They have expressed concerns about the unknown side effects these GMO foods might have.
So my stance is to see that genetically modified food is labeled so that we can make an intelligent choice as to what food we're going to put into our body.
Sue Warren, a nutritional instructor at El Camino, says just the opposite, that GMO foods are just as nutritious as organic.
We have now seen some research that says there's a possibility that organic foods are no better than foods being raised by agribusiness. And with chemical fertilizers.
Big corporations like Coca-Cola, Kellogg, and Grocery Manufacturers Association are just a few of the opponents of this bill. They argue that the law would be expensive to implement and fear potential lawsuits. More than 40 countries currently require this type of food labeling, including most of Europe, Japan, and even China and India. No matter which side you are on, everyone can agree on one thing. If this proposition passes, it will affect the cost of food.
This is definitely going to raise the price of food. The price of food is already going up. Do we want this to go more?
According to the Legislative Analyst's Office, the program for labeling GMO foods could be as much as $1 million a year. GMO farmers will have to decide if they can afford to adopt the label or if to stop growing GMO foods altogether. For This Week in Torrance, I'm Lorena Salzedo.
For more information on Prop 37, visit voterguide.sos.ca.gov. After the break, we'll bring you a preview of what's happening in local sports.
Something's not right.
My first symptoms were
constant tingling in my toes.
My legs, sometimes they'll go numb.
Double vision. They said you have multiple sclerosis.
Well, the beginning is the hardest time.
Kind of had to get a grasp on reality.
I had to adapt and change very rapidly.
I had to learn how to drive with my hands. Yeah, that was interesting.
I was a dancer. I don't see walking the way I walk any different than doing a dance. It just looks different. It's a different dance.
You see me have an off day, it doesn't take away from who I am.
A symptom may cause you not to be able to do that anymore. And at one point, I wasn't able to do any of those.
But I would exercise every day.
Since I've been cycling, it's definitely helped my walking.
To make a lot of changes in my life and just adapt to it.
I'm going to acknowledge its presence. I'm not going to discount it, but at the same time, I'm going to try my best to not let it stop me.
It's a fantastic opportunity to be working together with a common goal of curing MS, and sharing is the key.
If you could see anything in the world, what would it be?
I'd love to see Paris.
I like to see cupcakes falling from the sky.
To save your vision in the years ahead, call your eye doctor for a comprehensive eye exam today. Then call 1-800-437-2423 or log on to seeabettertomorrow.org to learn about glaucoma and macular degeneration.
I just want to see more of the things I love.
Here's a way to laugh for a good cause. On Thursday, October 11th, join the Torrance Education Foundation for a night of laughter at the Comedy and Magic Club of Hermosa Beach. The Comedy Club is partnering with the Torrance Education Foundation and is donating 100% of its evening's ticket sales to help raise money for the Jean Drevno College Scholarship. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. with the evening's entertainment starting promptly at 8 p.m. Tickets cost $20 and can be purchased by calling 310-972-6418 or emailing torrancefoundation@hotmail.com. If you love to play golf and want to help some Torrance students get to college, sign up for the 21st Annual Memorial Golf Charity Tournament. Sponsored by the Torrance Police Officers Association, on Monday, October 15th, participants can play a round of golf at Rolling Hills Country Club and also participate in games, raffles, and a barbecue. This annual event benefits a scholarship fund for students from the 5 Torrance high schools. For more information, call the Torrance Police Officers Association at 310-325-8762. And now let's get a preview of the latest edition of the Sports Desk. Host Juan Hernandez is in the studio to tell us more. Juan?
Hi, Jen. Just checking in to let you know what we've got on this week on the Sports Desk. El Camino football got their first win of the season, and now with conference play here, we'll see if they can keep that momentum going. North High doing some exciting things on the volleyball court, and last week we actually had a school record on the golf course from them. Another one for you this week. Remember to check it out, 4 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. right here on the Sports Desk, CitiCABLE Channel 3.
Thanks, Juan. And finally, as the city celebrates its history with the centennial, one organization is helping families learn more about their own. Reporter Charlene Chang explains.
The television series Who Do You Think You Are aims to unearth family histories. That's exactly what the South Bay City's Genealogical Society did during their stage adaptation of the popular show.
When we heard that the Torrance Centennial was asking for participants, we thought this would be a good opportunity for us since we've been here for a while and because we do family history. So we came up with the idea of Who Do You Think You Are? And that's based on the television program where they trace celebrities' ancestries.
As part of the centennial celebrations, members of the community were invited to join 3 prominent Torrance families as they found out for the first time just where they came from.
The theme of the centennial is looking back and moving forward, so that's why we chose the posts for looking back. We chose Michael Schaefer, who is very prominent in the downtown area and is doing a lot to build up the community there. He's the moving forward aspect. And then we added honoring the president for our mayor.
The Post family was represented by Jim Post and his wife Beverly. Jim is the grandson of one of the earliest families to settle in Torrance.
We looked for families that had presence in Torrance and also a business presence at the time. And so we chose the Post because they've probably lived in Torrance longer than anybody else. They came early, and Post Avenue is named for them.
Jim's family was one of the founding families in Torrance, and my family was here early on as well. We both went all through Torrance schools and have loved the community, a wonderful place to grow up.
As expected, the Genealogical Society had some surprises for the family, along with surprise guests.
They were able to trace his wife's family back to the Mayflower, and we were fortunate enough to have representatives from the Mayflower Society come and present not the certificate but a application so that they could get the certificate from the Mayflower Society.
Although high school sweethearts Mayor Scotto and his wife Cindy have both lived in Torrance for a long time, their roots are very different.
We've both been in Torrance for a long, long time, and I've personally, our family lived since 1955, so we've been here about 57 years. But before that, our family lived in San Pedro, and then I was born in Riverside. But my parents are first-generation Italians that came right from Italy, and so they met in New York, and they got married in New York, and they moved out here, and they ended up in Riverside initially.
I thought my roots were in Germany. My roots are actually in Poland, which is very shocking to me. I thought my grandparents were from Germany, settled in Wisconsin. My parents came to Torrance in 1952, where I've been ever since, but I didn't know I had Polish, so that's interesting.
Chef Michael Schaefer, known for his community involvement and impact in the downtown Torrance area, was also included in this special unveiling, learning that his roots trace back to Poland and Lithuania.
Both my parents came from Europe. Well, my grandparents came from Europe. My father moved from Europe also when he was very young. My mother was born and raised in Buffalo, New York, and she still lives there.
In addition to being presented with souvenir scrapbooks, the families involved will have much more to pass on to future generations.
The greatest thing about this whole thing is my 4 sisters and I are now going to have a record that we could then pass on to our children and to our grandchildren.
I've often had it said that you have to give children roots and wings. And so this is our way of helping people to give their children roots so they know where they came from. And then when they go to school and everything they do with their parents gives them wings into the future.
If this has piqued your interest in learning more about your own family history, the Genealogical Society is hosting a free family history workshop at the Torrance Public Library on October 6th. For This Week in Torrance, I'm Charlene Cheng.
Thanks, Charlene. For more information on the South Bay City's Genealogical Society, check them out on Facebook. That's going to do it for us on This Week in Torrance. I'm Jin Chun. If you've missed any portion of our show, you can catch us again at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.